Hey guys, this is TJ, and this is my review in progress of Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord. I'm still fairly early on in the campaign. I'm kind of in like the early mid-game where I've joined a faction and become a mercenary, which is one of the first big milestones you'll hit from being just like a wandering dude in the world. As you can see, the map is a lot better looking than Mount and Blade Warband if you ever played that. That's probably the first, like, biggest, most noticeable thing. You can zoom in and out seamlessly, and that works great. It's really smooth. There's no, like, lag or hitching, which I really like. And, you know, the way they've sculpted the terrain, the amount that you can kind of zoom in and see all the little details is really cool. The water looks really good. The mountains and stuff look really good. So I'm definitely liking the visuals of this. It's a lot better looking. The interface is also a big step forward. The interface in Warband was not great. This is a lot cleaner. It's a lot more readable. There's still some tooltips and things missing where, like, it doesn't really give me the amount of information I would like to. Yeah, the new skill system, it's one of those, you get better at things as you do them. And, you know, once you pass certain milestones, you can pick between certain perks. Sometimes you have a choice of two. Sometimes you just unlock one single perk at a certain milestone. One thing you will notice, though, that I'm not super thrilled with is there is quite a bit of lag when you switch between screens on the interface. And that kind of applies to everything, whether you're opening up your inventory or your skill panel or whatever. Here's my party screen. There's always, like, this, you know, couple seconds of lag that gets a little bit annoying. But once you're actually in the screen you want to find, everything is pretty responsive. It's pretty well organized. The information is displayed in a way that kind of makes sense and makes it pretty easy to navigate. So that by itself is a huge improvement from the last one. And then this is probably the biggest mechanical difference from Warband, is that we have this clan screen where it's almost kind of like Crusader Kings, where you're going to build up a family and you're going to get married and have kids, and you can actually play as your heir if you die. You rank up your clan by gaining renown, which lets you have more perks and stuff. I'm not far enough along that I've played with this a lot yet, but it seems like it's going to be really interesting. And then this is the kingdom screen. Of course, I'm playing as Sturgia because they are the best faction, objectively. And I can see all of the different leaders in my faction. Apparently, you can eventually start passing, like, laws and policies. This is another thing that hasn't come up in my playthrough yet, but there's some really interesting stuff in here as far as kingdom management that I'm looking forward to getting my hands on further down the line. For the full review, we're at war with the Vlandians right now, and then you can kind of see our status with all the other factions. Kind of what I've been doing most of the time is taking quests from people in the various villages. There's a handful of these. It feels like there's a little bit of a better variety than there was in Warband in terms of the things they're going to ask you to do. Some of them are pretty straightforward, like, you know, escort this merchant caravan or hunt down some poachers, but it's a really good way to get some money and some reputation in the early game. So this guy, I think he wants me to take along some of his militiamen and kind of train them up, get them some XP, and then, you know, bring them back better than I found them, so that they can do a better job of helping defend this village. One thing I haven't checked yet with this mission is if I finish this mission and then someone were to attack this village, would the militia that I trained actually still be there? Yeah, as you can see, the towns, they look a lot nicer than they did in Warband. They've got kind of more of a logical layout. There's a lot more trees and rocks and various decals. But then, of course, here we have that lag issue again. We're going to be stuck on this frame here for quite a while, and that's pretty typical. So yeah, let's go see. We're going to recruit some regular troops here as well, aside from the quest troops we just got. And you get more slots and the opportunity to recruit better troops the higher your reputation is with the specific people in the town who have the troops available to recruit. So these just kind of look like peasants with a pitchfork. I'm not super thrilled about their prospects, but let's go ahead and let's skip over to a battle here. We could just go fight some random looters or bandits or whatever, but we are at war with Vlandia, so I went ahead and marched our army over to one of their kind of outlying villages, and we're actually going to raid this village. They have a fairly big militia, numbers-wise. This battle's going to be about even. We'll see how we do here. So the command interface is really well done. Visually, it's kind of well organized. It's pretty easy to find the commands you need, and also the individual unit AI seems a lot smarter than it was in Warband. You can see I can block left, right, up, down, same as Warband. Animations are definitely a little bit more fluid. It feels a little bit less janky. This is still kind of a janky game. Like for something that's been in development for 8 years, there's still a fair amount of jank. It's not as much of like a step forward in terms of polish as yeah. See, it probably wasn't a good idea to like charge my horse into a wooded village before the rest of my army got here, but hopefully we can. And I'm like weighed down because I'm wearing very heavy armor. Let's see if we can kind of reunite with the rest of our army. I got a little bit. Okay, yeah, I got a little bit eager to scout out the battlefield there. That works okay in field battles, but this was not the time or the place for it. Luckily, I think I still have the superior troops. I'm not dead. I'm just wounded, and I think we're gonna clean up these militia scrubs pretty well anyway. Yeah, we got it in hand. I didn't do what I was supposed to do, but my men apparently are more competent than I am. So yeah, we won this one pretty handily. That's a fairly one-sided battle because I've got some veteran troops here. I've got some berserkers and some pretty good archers against just these random townsfolk. So yeah, it looks like we lost 7 and had 4 wounded, but we completely demolished them. There's a really good. I really like how this data is presented at the end of a battle. It gives you a really good idea of how things went, what might have worked and what didn't. That was a pretty straightforward. Like everybody just rushed the village. It's obviously there's a lot more complexity you can get into it with like making control groups and setting up tactics and stuff. So. Taking some prisoners, we can upgrade some troops. Every type of troop you have has kind of a tree similar to Warband where they can upgrade down a few different paths. And then, of course, we're going to loot some money from the village, which is, and some items so we can actually, go sell these and be able to pay our soldiers. We do get a small stipend for being a mercenary in the service of this faction, which is good. So that's Bannerlord so far. I'm looking forward to checking out some of the stuff that's been changed and expanded, especially like the clan and kingdom mechanics. But for everything Mount & Blade, including our full review, keep it right here on IGN.